So I saw an article recently. It was basically trying to make the case that the younger generations are the absolute worst generations that we've ever seen, and that if something doesn't change in a hurry, that our civilization is cooked. And then I saw a movie this weekend that made me think of a video I made last year where I compared the relationship between society at large and the younger generations to being in a relationship with a liar, and how that relates to their interest in off-grid living and homesteading. So let's talk about it. The movie's on Netflix. It's called Uglies. And basically, it's all about how in an effort to fix all of society's problems, all the kids are locked up in these brutalistic dorms. They have, social interactions with the other kids, and they're educated and they eat synthesized food, all while awaiting their 16th birthday, where they have this procedure which makes them the perfect version of themselves. After which, they're moved off into this beautifully idyllic city that's gorgeous, and there's parties all the time, and it's just like the perfect life. So it's something for them to look forward to. After the procedure, they're referred to as pretties, and before the procedure, they're called uglies. They spend basically their entire childhood being indoctrinated with the idea that getting to your 16th birthday and becoming pretty and moving to the city and having a job that's perfect for you whilst you're being the perfect version of yourself is like the end-all be-all, and life doesn't even really get started until then. And wouldn't you know it, the entire system was a lie. But then there's this other group, and without giving too much of the story away, they basically buck that system, run away, and essentially become off-grid homesteaders. They grow food. They live in alternative buildings with like turf roofs and stuff. They barter with each other, and they basically just live. Was it a great movie? No, not really. The actors did a fine job and the effects were really good. But the other thing to take into consideration is that this movie was not written for me. Who was it written for? Young adults, probably age 16 to 24, which means that this story was conceptually surveyed, after which several versions of it would have been focus grouped to that demographic, and all of that would have been backed up by interest points from social media data. I won't tell you much more about it because I actually think it's worth a watch, especially if you're into off-grid living and homesteading. I think we're witnessing a societal shift in values, and I think it's really interesting. For a movie like this to be greenlit and stories like this to become part of pop culture, I think is potentially proof of that shift. Even in my videos on off-grid living and homesteading, I'm noticing a lot more young people watching it. I mean, a lot more. And that gives me hope. I'm gonna go ahead and say we're due for a coop cleanup. The truth is, I'm getting kind of tired of hearing people rip up the younger generation for not knowing how to do things that it was our responsibility as parents to teach them how to do. I see all these articles talking about how Gen Z is being fired at an alarming rate. Gen Z is quitting their job to pursue some flight of fancy, all sort of fueling society's criticism that somehow they're just naturally lazy and stupid. But did you ever stop to think that maybe, just maybe, the direction society went off in wasn't the best route? Perhaps the game that's been laid at the feet of the youth isn't a game that they want to play, not because they're lazy or stupid, but because they see what a tragic waste of time playing that game is. The real kicker of it is they learn that by watching us. The fogies, those who go and toil away at a job and come home exhausted, never having enough money to not be stressed out about the bills, that causing conflicts in our families. And even if you do get ahead, not really having enough time to be able to do anything interesting with your life, aside from work, eat, sleep, repeat. Maybe they want what they consider to be more out of life. It's possible that they could be less interested in spending the time they have trading hours for dollars when those dollars buy less and less every day. Maybe they're more interested in solving problems that have to do with their own and the people they love's survival. Problems that are meaningful and actually make a difference. If you really look at it, they're actually a lot smarter than society would lead you to believe. Maybe, if we're lucky, it'll be that younger generation that steps up and saves us all. To the younger folks watching, the future is whatever you make of it. I can't wait to see what you do with it. And if I can help, let me know. I'll catch you next time.